Hi friends! Welcome to another video. If we have not met yet, I'm Andrea from Minimal Homestead and I make videos about homesteading, minimalism, home building, parenting, financial tips, and RV life, and so much more. If you're interested in any of that, click the subscribe button down below to be notified when we post new videos. In today's video, I want to talk about 5 things that we do not like about living in an RV. So let's get started. Number 5 is not having a bathtub. Before we moved, that was one of the big things that I would do to de-stress, is take a bath every night, maybe have a glass of wine, maybe have a piece of chocolate, read a book, and just de-stress. I just loved it. I really miss that about not having a bathtub big enough to just soak in. Also, just going along with that is a shower, like a full-size shower. Sometimes we have very little water pressure. Sometimes if our propane goes out in the middle of a shower, we have a cold shower. So those are some things that we're looking forward to with our new builds. Number 4, the 4th thing that we don't like about living in an RV is we don't really have space, and that's obvious. Space to relax. We don't have like a nice cushy couch, or we don't have separate rooms. If we were in a TIFF or just needed some space, there's nowhere to really like go in another room. You kind of have to go outside or go for a drive. We don't have room or space to really entertain. When we do have additional people over, it feels super cramped, like you can't breathe. It's just, for us, like, we don't like to entertain in the RV just because it kind of feels like too small too small to entertain, really. This is kind of silly, but we don't have a separate place to do things like puzzles. We've been eating, you can tell the puzzle behind me, we've been eating on top of that puzzle forever, which is sad. We really don't have a lot of space to store food. We had to get some extra pantry space, and we've made it work. We've made it work with our fridge. I'm always surprised about what we can actually cram in that little RV fridge and that freezer. So we definitely make it work, but I'm excited about a full-size fridge and freezer. We don't really have space to store our clothes. They're in bins and folded up. It's going to be nice to have like actual shoe storage, and not that we have a lot of shoes or have a lot of clothes. Right now I'm storing my clothes in bins, and I set out my clothes 7 days in a week, the outfits, so that way it's just easier for me to grab and I'm not looking through bins the entire time or each morning. Number 4 kind of rolls into number 3, but number 3 of the 3rd reason why we don't like living in an RV is clutter. So if we have a few things out, if we leave a few dishes out, if there's dishes in the sink, if there's a few toys out, if we haven't put up clothes, just 1 or 2 things here and there, it feels very cluttered. It feels very disorganized. It's hard to breathe a little bit because it is such a small space. I personally and my husband, we feel like we have to keep it almost immaculately cleaned just so we can like live and relax in this small space. So yeah, 3 dishes can fill up the entire one side of the sink, so I feel like I'm constantly cleaning and constantly doing dishes just to stay on top of it. Number 2 is the smells. So that's another reason why we don't like living in an RV, is because you're in a smaller space and there's more smells. You can smell everything more. We have to stay on top of the trash. We have to stay on top of the cat litter. And then there's the toilet situation. That goes into number 1. The number 1 reason why we don't like living in an RV is the toilet situation. RV toilets are set up differently, obviously, than regular plumbing in a regular home. There's a tank and there's a hose that we have hooked up to our septic, and it's so hard. Just the whole, I get it. I get why it's like that, but for full-time living, it's really difficult. That's a big thing with RVs, is the smells. Maybe that's too much information, but I'm just gonna let you know. I'm gonna be honest here. So yeah, the tank, it's really hard to clean the tank. The thing that has worked the best for us is actually there's a hold on the tank so it doesn't go straight down the hose to the septic. You can put it in the holding keep everything in the holding tank. Lots of water. Water is your friend. You have to hold down the pedal to add more water every time you flush. Then once the tank is full, you let the tank loose and then run just a full tank of water, hold it again, run more water, and then flush it again. And that is the only thing that has worked for us. We've tried a lot of different things. We've tried the drop-in tablets and liquid. That is what has worked for us to help with the smell. And after you flush it that first time, it's just horrendous. It just is. So that's just part of it that is just not fun. We actually just had to go buy a new hose because our dogs tore it up. I know, gross. So we bought a new hose. We're gonna make a little fence around it next time. But that's just part of it, just part of living in an RV. Essential oils. I've been doing a lot of essential oils, and that definitely helps with all the different smells. So the other thing with the toilet is, because it's a different type of toilet, you pretty much have to clean it every time you use it. And that to me is just the easiest way to do it, because if you don't, it's really difficult to clean the toilet later. Just trust me on this one. We have to clean the toilet with the wand every time we use the toilet. So there you go. At least I told you and you're informed if you ever decide to live in an RV. Those are the 5 things that we do not like about living in an RV. Definitely check out the video, I'll link it below, of the 5 things that we do like about living in an RV. So what about you? Have you ever lived in an RV? What do you think you could not handle or you would not like about living in such a small space? I'd love to hear from you in the comment below. Until then, I wish you well, and I'll see you in the next video.